Yep, it's your boy. If I can't help you creatively, nobody can. And what makes me a genius in this regard, if I am one, it's because I know how to tap into the right amount of not giving a fuck. Now, how do you do that? Now, I gotta admit, the way I go about everything, I'm a melting pot. I'm gumbo. I'm a mixture of things, and I do that purpose, uh, you know, with purpose because I don't want to try to rely on one tool to get the job done. Okay, I'm not trying to hold together a house with one nail. All right, multiple nails, multiple tools. There's multiple ways to go about it, and one of the simplest ways is to be childlike. All right, so we turn into adults, obviously. When we come of age, 18 years old, they smack us on our ass one good time and they say, "Welcome to adult life. You make the rules now, but also you got to follow the rules." But here's the thing, even within a society or even within a world, worlds are created. So, one thing that you probably won't see in a lot of books that will tell you how to write books and all these things or whatever is that ultimately there are no rules besides the ones that you create. I mean, think about it. How many avenues are there in this world that will allow for you to be exactly who you are? Okay? You may claim you live in a progressive world all you want, but there's still a lot of things creatively that you can't do when you don't own the media, when you don't own the publisher, when you don't own the credit. I mean, when you don't get credit for the work, somebody else gets credit for your hard work. So you have to take that into your own personal studies. You have to take that into your creative avenues because that's going to be one of the things where nobody else can dictate for you. You just have the unfortunate reality of having your answers come from above. When we're talking about your parents at one point telling you what you need to do, your teachers, your boss, your drill sergeant, all these people telling you the things that you need to do so you get accustomed to doing that. You don't get accustomed to, giving yourself the orders. All right. Now, I'm not going to act like I wasn't privileged in the fact that I just grew up not really respecting authority. It's just something that's in the stars for me. My daughter's the same way. It's like we really don't fuck with authority like that. It's like, how are you going to try to tell me what I need to do? And you a human just like me. You bleed just like me. Like, who gave you domain over my body? First of all, I didn't even ask to be brought here. You know, so that's the way. Typically, I like to think. I mean, I don't even like to think it that way. It's just natural for me, and I've been like that since I was a child, man. Like very young, extremely young. So a great deal of who we are and who we're going to become is already there when it's a seed. You know what I'm saying? Before it even takes shape fully. All right. So with all of that being said, it's because of that, and it's because of the many disappointments that I found in life, that I found myself dealing with in life. It led me to the point where I'm like, all right, if I'm not going to commit suicide, if I am going to be here, if I'm going to be alive, then I have to live by my own terms. That's it. That's it. Because no matter what people will have to say about you as far as criticism goes, you're going to get a great deal of empathy when you're no longer there to really feel it. So what I'm saying is, oh, which gives people that illusion. They only care when you die. Basically, is what I'm saying. What's up, Daniel? We all came here for a reason. Yeah, if you give yourself a reason, we don't remember why unless you know yourself. Yeah, you know what I'm inclined to. I am inclined to agree. You know what I'm saying? So, and I wrote a book And don't have me lying because my memory's bad, but if you check my catalog, I believe I have a book on how to live a meaningful life. And I don't remember anything that I wrote in that book, but when we talk about finding your purpose and things like that, guys, you have to make time to, and this also gonna help you with writing. Make time to, kind of detach and unplug from the world around you to really question the things that make you tick. You know what I'm saying? You have to take yourself on these journeys too. These journeys of nothingness is how you really find yourself. Don't just concede to the fact that, oh, I feel lost, but you just going around in circles. Where are you even trying to go? First of all, where are you trying to go? That will dictate what tools you may need, what direction you need to take, what sacrifices you need to make. I have a question for you. I've been following for a while. Thank you. Guys, like my video right now, please, and subscribe. I'm just trying to build up my following the right way. You know what I'm saying? What do you think of the multiverse? Man, I don't know. I don't know enough to really speak about that. I don't think too much of it, or not very knowledgeable, or very much fluent with that conversation. Not even from a philosophical pseudoscience aspect. I don't know, man. What I can tell you is that I am truly amazed at how big we make things, but how small we really are. Like, can you imagine like a lot of the things that are important to ants if they have things that are important to them, like mentally, and just think how much we do not care about that. Now think about how small we are in comparison to the world, and it's just like, wow, like we don't even exist if you zoom out just enough. It's like, look how small and feeble we are in comparison to everything else. And where does it end? Where does it stop? And guys, by the way, letting my mind wander like this is very good for writer's block because it allows me to think about the possibilities. Life is a marathon and not a race. There's only one race, and that's the human race. Well, let me tell you something about that. And this is kind of me just overlooking everything that she said that I do agree with. Now, when we talk about the human race, now leaving Neanderthals and Homo sapien conversation out of it, all things being equal, yes, it's just the human race. And anybody with a brain understands that um, that race was kind of a man. It was a man-made thing. It became a structure, a political structure to this day, a very powerful political structure. Now, when we talk about something like there's only one race, let's just take America for example. I grew up here. You might know a little something about America and its history. It's 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 a very convenient truth to say for white people. You know what I'm saying? Not picking on anybody, but it's a very convenient thing to say for a white person that yeah, we're all one race. Because historically speaking, and from a racial aspect, you wouldn't stand to benefit from understanding that that's not true because of the political construct. Like the privilege that you have to say that. Now I could say that and be on the money and say, you know what, race? Yeah, yeah, man, all the human race. Now, of course, I could say that, and I say this in my video talking about how to end racism. Like I can say that thing, but I will be turning a blind eye to the people who are actually dealing with injustice because they look the way that I look. So that's why I still have to be one foot in, one foot out. I'm a very spiritual being. I identify as a spiritual being, but identify as a black man because I understand my importance in the world of people who can't really tap into something that's that divine because they are dealing with matters of the world, which is interesting, which kind of just reminds me of what I think about a lot when I think about a lot of the worldly events, the world tragedies, and a lot of us we take it as an external problem, something that happened outside of us, but we are very slow to realize how much of a spiritual happenstance it is, like, or just a spiritual tragedy. You know what I'm saying? Like even more so, and it's like it's worse because you don't diagnose it as something spiritual, then you don't give yourself a prescription. You don't administer yourself something that will help you on a spiritual level. So you go look for outside resources. And I'm getting away from writer's block, so let me just check out some of these things. I'm gonna try to get right back to it. But oh, I mean, look, I don't. I mean, you could be Mexican, you could be white. I'm not making a big deal about race. That that's not my concern right now. Like, I will be speaking on more racial things. Considering. All right, I'm not going to be speaking too much of how it got to this point. Just addressing it for what it is. So, and I can make a. I mean, I did make a whole video about what racism really is, because people think racism is just calling a black person nigger, calling a I don't know, a Hispanic. What they call you guys? They call you beaners or something if they want to be racist. That's not racism. Racism. First of all, let's break it down. I said I wasn't even gonna talk about it, but I'm talking about it. Race. What does race even mean? It's a competition. You think that that was just a coincidence that we categorize people skin color, and we just had happened to call it race with all the words we could have just called it? It's called race for a reason. So when you talk about racism is keeping a particular group in power. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, every white person isn't going to be a goddamn millionaire, billionaire, but it's a trickle down effect. All right, that this video isn't about. Um, Thank you. I appreciate that you like my videos. But okay, I can be very long winded for somebody who does not talk much outside of this. Uh, so when we talk about writer's block, some people say write about, and when I say writer's block, by the way, whatever creative thing you can think of. All right. So some people would say you think about what makes you angry, write about what makes you angry. That always seems to work. That always seems to get you motivated. When you get into a fight with somebody on the internet or something, or through text, you gotta just keep going until you feel like you won. But nobody ever actually wins in an argument. But you have to do those. You have to do those things, apparently. So what else? Okay, so the things that make you mad, the things that turn you on. This is why I like practicing semen retention and practicing, sexual transmutation and taking this energy and putting it towards my creative endeavors. And you gotta open yourself up. All right, so you gotta put yourself in the sun, go to the pool. When the weather is like that. Just do relaxing things. I'm not opposed to actually substance use. Obviously, you want to do it sparingly, and you don't want to ruin yourself. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to get to is like levels of consciousness. So obviously, as somebody who meditates, and I've been doing it for 7 years now, you can experience different levels of consciousness through meditating, and it won't cost you anything but your time, and that which is subjective in itself. And how long will you be doing such a thing? No, I never heard of Daryl Davis. Up and you spend 10 minutes here or there, focusing on your breathing and things like that. Really open yourself up. Really make yourself feel good. All right, because depending on how you feel, that will dictate the things you will talk about, your subject matter. All right, so if you're feeling a little salty because you got ghosted, got left on red, and things like that, then you're probably gonna make a blues song or something like that. If you're feeling upbeat, you might make a SpongeBob song. You might not even have any cuss words in it. You never know. Uh, but you always got to be in touch with your, with how you're feeling, and not try to fake it. You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes, what I have to tell people is that, yeah, like you're writing right now, and you can see how terrible it is. But one, it's not finished, and two, nobody has to see it. That frees you up. And when you write about the things that matter to you without any worry about what may be coming from outside once it's perceived, that that frees you up to experiment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not telling you anything that the greats have not done. I mean, this is what set them apart. You know what I'm saying? It's because, okay, a lot of you guys, I mean, I understand why you would come to this video. I mean, it's a how to, but a lot of you guys will go to a rule book, go to a book, a how to book, and you try to do things according to everything that's being laid out. And although my advice is kind of geared towards you making your own decisions or whatever, don't even don't settle for everything that I say. Don't hold on to everything that I say. My mind does change a lot, but at the end of the day, when we're talking about writer's block, all it really is trying to squirt perfection out, on the spot. If you understand that things can be cultivated, in fact, I would prefer that things are cultivated as opposed to just kind of, shot out like factory work. You know what I'm saying? Where you force things, like, but anyway, but understanding that it has to be cultivated, that frees you up as well. All right, too many perfectionists. Look, we call him Leonardo da Vinci. All right, now people know who Leonardo da Vinci is, but you probably didn't know that after a while he just stopped getting commission work. All right, he stopped getting commission work because he couldn't finish any goddamn thing. Um, so hopefully you are somebody who's trying to get by on I'm talented, I'm smart, I am a label, which can be um, challenged at any given moment, by the way, depending on action that depicts one or the other. So I don't even really like to call myself a writer, because then when I'm not writing, I'm like, oh, I'm not a writer anymore. I'm not doing a good job as a writer. You know what I'm saying? So like the label isn't going to be very much fulfilling to me more than the satisfaction of actually writing. All right, I'd rather write and have no label than to be labeled as a writer and have nothing to show for it. All right. So yeah, talk to me, leave some comments, like the video, subscribe right now. We talking about how to get rid of writer's block. I'm long-winded right now. I said that I was going to record 3 videos today, so it'll probably be 3 live streams. This is the second one, and we're talking about how to get rid of writer's block. All right, so another thing that's I don't even do this enough, and I have bad memory, so I don't know why I wouldn't do this. Is that every time you get an idea, man, you just jot it down. In fact, I was actually pretty good at putting that in my phone. I just like to write with the pen and the pad. You know what I'm saying? But you want to write down just every little idea. You know what I'm saying? Just jot it down. Push it off till later. Trust me, you'd be glad that you did this. So another way to get rid of writer's block is that you make it easy for you. Yes, writing can be done in an easy manner. So let me tell you a little bit about how I go about writing, and then I'm going to tell you something that I tried that made the process a lot easier. Okay, so my writing style is very simple. I don't necessarily try to aim for word count. I don't try to fluff things up so I can say, oh, 80,000 words. You know what I'm saying? I like to get straight to it. Just like in actual life, I understand that only 10% of the people who pick up a book are going to finish it, so I make my book smaller. All right, so with that being said, I like to write and then edit later. You know what I'm saying? I try not to edit as I go along because it makes the process very steep. But one thing that I tried last year and writing my newest book that came out, I think in July, um, called "Don't Say I Never Gave You Anything: 50 Pieces of Helpful Advice." What I did, that was extremely fun because this was my biggest book to date. As far as word count, and I feel like it had more advice than all of my books put together. Um, it was the easiest one to write because what I would do is, let's say my goal today was to write 3 pieces for my new book. Now I never know how long it's gonna be, but I usually try to get it at a couple hundred words, 200 to 500, maybe 1,000 words or so. Just writing on anything that comes to my mind, like a video like this on how to get rid of writer's block. You know what I'm saying? So I write that, and then I write the second one, write the third one. But here's the thing, guys. I'm writing it separately in emails, and then I'm sending it off to my author email. All right, very genius, right? That way, it's you don't have to worry about losing the file. Pretty much, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I never lost anything that I sent with Gmail or on the internet in general, really, unless I deleted it. I mean, I can go back and find things from 2010 that I saved. All right. So I did this. Pretty much every day, man. Just short, 200, 500, 1,000 words. Do that 3 times a day. Feeling very accomplished, but at the same time, it's in the back of my mind. I'm not spending too much time doing it. Maybe an hour at the most per day. Ship it off. Out of sight, out of mind. Do it again the next day. The next day. After about a month, I got a book. Also, here's the thing. Because I told you that I like to write and edit later, because the word count was so small per day, per essay, or per whatever you want to call it, ECR or whatever the hell, I was able to edit along the way. So when that process was done, and I took all of all of the emails that I sent, had about 14, 15,000 words at that point. Boom. Then I copy and paste all of it, which was very daunting. I think a better way would probably, if you don't want to go through each email and copy and paste, then you probably want to have it in one email to keep it as a draft. Possibly. I mean, obviously you can do Evernote and things like that. I just like the process of shipping it off daily. It was easier for like starting and stopping. So like if you go to Evernote and you got to go to the existing one and scroll all the way down or whatever, I like to get straight to the email, straight to the writing, so no procrastination can come in. Boom, ship it off. So anyway, 15,000 words, copy and paste it, put it in a Microsoft Word, edit it like one more time because again, I tried to get it as clean as possible. There were a couple errors. Boom, fix it up, ship it out. I made the book cover this time. Boom, there you go. And you get rid of writer's block by first of all deciding that it's going to be done. And I'm saying first of all, like it's the first piece of advice I've given you. But you resolve to get it done. You've seen that it's possible. You've seen other people do it. Now, also, the more you do it, the more confidence you get. The more you just want to put out something. All right. So quality is very subjective. So I remember when I tried to make my second book after I wrote the first one, this back in 2014. Somebody was like, "Wow, oh, book already?" Remember, quality over quantity. That's a very subjective thing, okay? So you can spend your whole goddamn life trying to put out one masterpiece, and guess what? If somebody doesn't like it, they don't like it. They're not gonna take in consideration how long you put into it. All right, I could make a masterpiece in the next 5 minutes that could compete with something that took me 3 days to make, possibly, whatever that may be. All right. So you got to be daring. You got to keep putting yourself out there. You got to immerse yourself in the craft. Realize why you're doing that. Establish why you're doing that. You don't want to get caught up in the habit of seeking validation from other people. In fact, you'd probably be better off expecting quite the opposite. Expect people to shun you. Expect people to mock you. Expect people to try to embarrass you. Expect people to try to make you feel stupid. To try to make you feel inferior. Because that's all the things that they experience. And they don't want anybody to uh, contrast that. They want to feel like somebody is in the same boat as them, even if they gotta drag them out of the water to bring them into that goddamn boat. Even though you probably be drowning in your own shit. All right, but with that being said, you cut out that outside noise. Learn to trust yourself more than you trust anybody else. That's just how it goes, man. Because in this ever changing world, the only thing that you can really count on is the fact that you can count on yourself if you decide to. All right, you can always make the decision to count on yourself. To always put the burden on your back. Also, man, if something like this writing shit means something to you, it's sacred, and you don't let nobody get in between you and what matters the most to you. You know, your artistic expression. You know what I'm saying? Like it's it takes a great deal of bravery to put yourself out there when it comes to expressing your emotions and how you feel deeply. You know, when you back up how you feel with actual experience and what you've read and things like that, and to be opposed by people who want to throw their goddamn bitter ass opinions at you. You know, I done seen it, I done experienced it all. The reason why I'm taking a different path now, guys. So when I wasn't thinking clearly, if I've had these moments of uncertainty, which didn't, it didn't turn out to be a complete failure. But I would go on Facebook and spend a lot of time on Facebook posting shit. Wouldn't get much attention, and if I did, it was not really adding to my legacy. It's getting buried. And then what comes with being on Facebook is that you a couple scrolls away from scrolling for a few goddamn hours, just consuming whatever people decide to shit out for the day. And I told myself, you know what? I owe myself more than that. I owe the people more than that. I need to put out more content. All right, more of it. Make them hear more of. Put more of you out there. Flood them. All right. Because here's another thing that's pretty cool. I don't know why you do what you choose to do, but I can say that I'm international. Very much so. 60 times over. I'm playing in 60 different countries, man. On YouTube and the podcast, 60 different countries at least. All right, I can say that. How cool is that, man? I have my own media. All right, you got your own voice at a time like this. When you think about people who came up at a time where it wasn't social media, where all you really had was the news, if that, and newspapers and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? They found a way to get their voice out there, and they ain't have the luxuries we have right now. Look at me. I could change my whole goddamn life overnight. If I just keep doing live streams for the rest of this day, who knows what could happen? I'm not going to do that. I got other responsibilities, but just who knows? One day I might be in the zone so much, like I feel like I'm in right now. I might just keep popping them things out, man, like I'm giving birth to octuplets or something. You never know. All right. So the more you immerse yourself in the things you love to do, the more in the zone you get, the closer you get to mastery. All right. So, guys, practice, practice, practice. Don't try to take the shortcuts. Enjoy the whole process. Every bit of pain is war. It's going to build you up. It's everything that you like in those fictional characters, superheroes and all that. It's in every great story. Somebody overcoming something. And why can't that person be you? All right. If you're looking for perfection, you know what I'm saying? Writing ain't the place for you. You're never really gonna get anything done. This is why I present myself the way that I do. All right. I come on these videos. Sometimes I don't check myself, so, in the mirror, or I don't brush my teeth sometimes, and I just be looking rusty, man. And I don't edit my videos, and I don't change the way that I talk to sound like somebody that I'm not. And I be having lint on my clothes. I be looking busted. Sometimes I wear the same clothes. And that's the life of a writer. You got to be willing and that's the life of an artist, man. You got to be willing to just go against what it means to be a citizen in your, I don't know, in your country, you know. And I'm not saying don't take showers and things like that, but what I am saying is that what I found is that we do things according to what's the standard. So I'm not telling you to practice poor hygiene. I do not practice poor hygiene for the most part. All right. I like getting in the shower, taking hot showers, taking cold showers even more so. But what I'm saying is that you just live on your own terms and don't feel guilty about it. All right. Don't feel guilty because you chose to eat a tub of goddamn ice cream. It's ice cream, whatever. I understand. Don't feel guilty about the good choices that you made, because ultimately, although you could have made better decisions, and I would always advise that you do make better decisions. If it keeps you in the game, that's all that matters. All right. So, with that being said, guys, make it your purpose to keep creating. It's just another thing that we're gonna be able to pass on when we're gone. All right. So, to the people in the future seeing this, what's up? Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing and talking to me. I appreciate it all.